Whether you're brand new to fermented chicken feed or a pro, or maybe you're just frustrated with the results that you've gotten, we're gonna cover as much as possible in this video. Let's go ahead and start with feed, okay? Because you cannot ferment chicken feed without your feed. So you got your pellet, you got your crumble, you got mash, whole grain, and scratch, okay? These are all different feeds that you can use. If you're brand new to fermented chicken feed, I would highly recommend doing a whole grain feed or like a scratch feed. Even a mash would be okay, a mash feed. The reason why I say this is because it's gonna ferment very clean. It requires less involvement. Pretty much you can't get it wrong. All right, let's talk containers. These here are great for small to medium-sized flocks. They're also really nice for when you want to ferment chick starter feed and you don't want to make too much that might spoil or go bad. Another thing that's great about these small containers is they're very easy to move around. These larger containers are going to be more ideal for a bigger flock that's going to consume the feed before it spoils. Personally, I like to use these 14-gallon totes for storing my dry feed. It works well at keeping the pest out, keeping the feed dry and fresh, as well as just organizing my feed for me. The serving spoons that we like to use are mesh strainers and Asian strainers. If you're using city water, make sure to let it sit uncovered for 24 hours minimum before using. When it comes to fermenting whole grains, scratch, and mash feeds, you're going to use the same method. Fill any size container halfway with feed, then you're going to fill the rest with water. And lastly, you'll put a lid on. I like to have a few batches going at the same time. That way I have at least 2 that are fully fermented. This white foam is created by the natural yeast and bacteria on the grains. The microbes are doing all the work to break down the sugars and start the fermentation process. When it comes to fermenting chick starter or pellet feeds, you're only going to fill a quarter of the container with feed, and the rest you'll fill with water. The reason you put less feed in the container is because these feeds need more space for expansion. I like to add a 1/4 teaspoon of Redmond sea salt to every gallon of water used to make my fermented feed in warmer months when chickens are panting and losing fluids and might need the extra electrolytes and minerals. Once you have started your fermented feed, you're going to want to make sure to put it in a cool place that is out of direct sunlight. Let the feed sit for a minimum of 24 hours before feeding it to your chickens. I have found that you will have a good amount of microbes by 72 hours. If you want the full benefits, try to keep the feed between 50 and 80 for best results. It should always have a nice sour smell. Many of you have mentioned that you live in very cold states where you get freezes regularly. If this is you, there's 2 options that I've found to be successful in preventing your fermented chicken feed from freezing. And that is 1, to take the feed inside where it'll stay at room temperature, or you can buy you some heat tape to wrap around the container to prevent it from freezing. Backslopping works very effectively in cooler months when the microbes grow a lot slower due to the cooler temps. This is a great way to just inoculate the entire batch and get it going. However, it is a good idea to scrub and wash the containers every so often when they start to look grimy. This makes for a clean, fresh start. Did you know that fermented chicken feed can increase egg laying by up to 15%? We have found that this is extremely effective in doing so. Fermented feed also helps hens lay firm, golden yolks that are vibrant and rich in color. Plus, the improved gut health leads to healthier, shinier plumage, so your hens will look amazing to your friends and neighbors. And the best part is that you can expect up to 20% savings on your feed. This is because fermented feed is easier to digest, meaning that they get more nutrients from less feed. This helps them feel fuller faster, so they eat less overall. Plus, because they're eating more efficiently, there's less waste. Fermenting chick starter feed is a must if you want to give your chicks a good, healthy start. It's a great way to keep them very well hydrated, give them probiotics for good gut health, and build their immune system. I think of the wild baby birds whose mothers bring them foods that are high in water content. Chicks benefit from this too.
Hey, babies. They are hungry little birdies. Hungry birdies. All right, let me get this all prepped.
When it comes to serving portions for chicks, some sources say half a cup per chick, some say a quarter cup. I don't like to have any type of fixed ratios when it comes to this type of thing. What I do is I will serve it up to them and see throughout the day how they are going about things. Like if they've finished the whole thing quickly, when they're little bitty chicks, you're gonna wanna make sure they have food throughout the day. When they get a little older, you can just do like, food in the morning and food in the evening. And it's also going to depend on whether your chickens get daily pasture or if they're in a coop all day. All right, so we feed our chicks once in the morning and once in the evening. Okay, and that typically gives them plenty of food because they're going to be grazing the entire day. For some of you, you may have to do more depending on your specific situation. But for us, this has been the perfect amount, and typically they don't even finish the food until the evening. So if I put it out in the morning, they'll be nibbling on it here and there throughout the whole entire day. One of the ways that we start introducing layer feed is that we just mix it in with their chick starter, just like this. And then you can just take a stick or a spoon, just mix it in there. It's one of the easiest ways to kind of transition them over to a layer feed. Now, when it comes to adult portions, there's a source online that I found that said 1 cup per hen or per chicken is plenty. We do 3 heaping spoons every morning, okay? Each heaping spoon has about 4 cups of feed. And right now we have maybe about 22 laying hens, if that gives you an idea of what we do. And this is plenty for them. And I might throw out some scratch in the evening, and that's it. This is another one of those things that it's not like one size fits all always. It's gonna be different depending on your flock. If you're giving your chickens pasture all day, every day, then you should be able to feed your chickens the same way we're feeding ours. And you can just change it up depending on how much they're eating, how much is being left over at the end of the day, and just kind of gauge things that way. That's the best way to do it. It's important to do everything in moderation, and that includes fermented chicken feed. It is possible to have too much of a good thing, and fermented chicken feed is no exception. If your chickens seem to be uninterested in fermented chicken feed at any point, that's probably because they need a little break. It's okay to switch things up every once in a while and give them some dry feed. And if you'd like an even better alternative, you can simply hydrate their feed. This helps prevent choking, helps with digestion, and also helps hydrate your birds more than just plain dry feed. We like to hydrate our feed with water, raw milk, and leftover fermented brine. It's very important to offer your chickens other foods to create a really nice balance in their diet. Leafy greens, berries. We also give them scraps from our tables and from our kitchen. Think of fermented feed as another great addition to your flock's diet. I like to think of it like with us humans, how we like to add fermented foods in our diet. Maybe it's sauerkraut, yogurt. In the same way, that's the way I look at it with my chickens. And so I like to have a batch going at all times, even if it's just whole grains or scratch. If you enjoy our videos and would like to see us put out more content, the best way you can support us in doing that is to like the video, comment, share it, subscribe, and hit that hype button down there at the bottom as well. Thank you in advance, and as always, God bless you in Jesus' name.